Show. It's your boy John. That's Ty. If you're watching this live, great. But if not, if you're watching this later for your own viewing pleasure at your own convenience, that's great as well. But before we start, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. But we're gonna get into it. So let's recap this that crazy Bills Bucks game on Sunday. I mean, if you're a regular fan, that was definitely a fun one to watch. A lot of scoring. I mean, if you
Oh
like
yeah,
offense, you know what I mean. You definitely got. It was kind of like the opposite of my prediction because I thought the weather would play a little bit more of a factor. It really didn't in terms
right.
of the offenses is high output. Obviously the final score. I mean, what was your take on it? You know what I mean? Were you shocked with how the offense came out, or you know what I mean? A lot happened. I feel this game.
Yeah, I guess I would say I was a little surprised. Not really that surprised we couldn't run the ball. I know Tampa Bay does a good job with run defense. I think they were like 10th or 11th ranked in the NFL.
Yeah,
Um, but throwing the ball, I think I was expecting the wind to play a little bit more of a factor too. So I wasn't too sure, like not necessarily that not throwing the ball at all, but maybe it was just going to be what we were used to with those like short intermediate routes and stuff like that. And I feel like Joe Brady and the offense just had a game plan of like, hey, we're just gonna sling it, we're gonna go down the field and we're gonna do what we can and just try to, just really like take advantage of, you know, that defense. And I mean, I think it caught a lot of people, off guard for sure. We put up 44 points and if you look at it from the other side, you're like, holy cow, we allowed 32 points. Did we even win? And then it's like, well, yeah, we scored 44, so we're okay.
yeah. I mean, it was definitely kind of what we were both asking for on the Saturday night show. We kind of wanted us to open it up more.
Right.
It was nice to see Gabe back. I felt that made a difference. I think just what I've been saying, a lot of this season, like I felt like our receiver room didn't really have a leader. I
Mhm.
wonder if Gabe's gonna kind of like step into that role, even though, you know what I mean. I'm not saying he's a Diggs, but is he maybe like at least a Matt Collins, to whereas like he can at least lead the group and be a voice? I think that's very possible. Um, Shavers was amazing. You always gotta love when a guy like that has a game.
Right.
Guy works his butt off, especially just to make this team. Um, yeah, and a more interesting, you know what I mean, doing this without Kincaid, Coleman on the active list. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot more about him.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, a great performance offensively. You really, I mean, the fans really got what they wanted. It's like they listened to what the fans wanted, what the fans were saying, and you know what I mean, with opening it up more and probably what they should do. Um, Especially if the bad thing is though, our run defense was just pitiful again. I mean,
Yeah, it's not good.
yeah, and I think we kind of have to open it up more with our run defense being so bad because, it's okay to eke out wins when your defense is good and play close to the vest. But if your defense isn't good, you really can't play like that.
Right, right, yeah. Um, Give me a sec, I was trying to mess with some lighting to
Yep.
make it a little bit brighter, but yeah, it's one of those things where now I feel like, a lot of people are just like, "Hey, just throw up as many points as you can. Who cares how many you allow?"
Mhm.
But, we found out, that only gets us so far. We've seen that, so many times in the playoffs where it's like, it doesn't even matter when we're scoring 30 plus because we're allowing even more. So, you know, I think I think at some point, it's like your defense are gonna have to get the stops, and we've seen that. I mean, Bishop had a great interception. Daquan Jones forced the fumble to basically seal the game. Um, so I feel like, that's the stuff where, we're gonna have to come up with. It's just, Tampa Bay was having their way with us. Sean
Yeah.
Tucker had 3 touchdowns. I think that's his name, right? Sean Tucker?
Yeah. Sean
Is that
Tucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't wanna pronounce it wrong. But, yeah, Sean Tucker had 3 touchdowns, 2 running, 1 in receiving, and then, it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, we're scoring, they're scoring. Like, is it going to come down to who has the ball last or what? I mean, we turned the ball over a couple of times as well too. I mean, right in the beginning of the game, Josh, does this little shovel pass that gets picked off, and I mean, from the looks of it, you don't think our defense did a whole lot, but I mean, that right there, Tampa Bay had the ball in the red zone, and our defense forced them to kick a field goal.
Yeah, it's
So,
very true. Yeah, that could have been a big turning point in the game. End up being kind of just like a thud. Um,
right,
but yeah, like to what your point is saying, I was like, I like that we're being more aggressive, but you can't count on winning like this every week. We really still don't have a type of offense to do it. Of course, you have Josh, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I like that we're letting him. I know you like the saying, like, let Josh be Josh. You know,
Right.
I felt like they finally let him do that. He's your best weapon. I think he's the best quarterback in the league. I even argue he might even be the one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I just think he's that talented. Use him the best of your ability. You know what I mean? If you can throw up 40 points a game, go and
Right.
do it. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's easier said than done, but I mean, even if you know what I mean, let's just say Palmer starts getting healthier. Gabe is at least Gabe from 2 years ago. I mean, it's not a great receiver room, but it's a lot better than what you've been throwing out there.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanna take a second, we just had a bunch of people just join.
Yeah.
I just saw the number just skyrocket, so if you're joining and you're in here, we appreciate it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like, when you're talking about let Josh be Josh, I feel like Joe Brady kinda, like, let him do that more. Um, I think he really was just like, "Hey," like, we've seen a lot more design Allen runs. That touchdown pass to Shavers, that's typical Josh Allen right there.
Yep.
He's running all over the place, and it's like, okay, he's gonna take off and run. Nope, all of a sudden he pulls the ball back down and cuts back to the middle of the field. And if you're a defense, I don't even know how you defend that. You
Yeah,
know,
he's just incredible. You know, there's no other
yeah,
way to put it. You know what I
and
mean? Like,
then he puts it in between two defenders, and Shavers gets open and makes a great catch for a touchdown. So I mean, that's one of the things that he's great at is just extending the plays. And for that play, it's like I'm okay with that, obviously, because they scored a touchdown, but most importantly, because it's like, hey, if there's nothing there, then go to buying yourself some time. Don't just be like, hey, okay, I'm in the pocket for 2 seconds, nothing's there, let me just scramble.
right.
We got a good offensive line. I just want to see him really, you know, take his time and the quarterbacks know like they'll feel the pressure. So it's like, if there's nothing open, then rely on your legs to, extend the play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just a lot of good things on the offensive side of the ball. And I also want to say, even though we let up 32 points, it's great to see Cole Bishop have another great performance, obviously, with the interception and all that type of stuff. I know Bills fans will, I mean, we are 6-3, so it's not like the season's been horrible, but I will say not a lot of stuff has gone perfect this year.
Hmm.
Cole Bishop, after that, preseason debacle, has been, you know what I mean, the epitome of perfect. I mean, like, I don't think we could have had a better outcome for him this season, especially ever since Poyer stepped in the fold in that back line with him. I think that's helped him out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I think Jordan Poyer, him signing back here has been such an underrated signing. At first, I kind of was like, I didn't mind it. I
Mhm.
didn't know how it was gonna be, but I think him mentoring Bishop has just worked out like a ton.
Right.
And we see Bishop, um, and I feel like he got that confidence, especially like in that was it the Saints game? He had that great interception where he
Yeah.
like came out of nowhere. I feel like that really like sparked his confidence. And you know, I feel like that's just what he needed. Hopefully, he can keep going with that. And we're gonna need him, especially getting into the second half of the season and the playoffs coming up. So yeah, at first I feel like a lot of people were like, man, like, was this guy worth a second round pick? And now he's playing every bit of it. So
Yep. I mean, he's been great. You know what I mean? Just, a lot of good came of that game. But again, I'm trying not to be too, you know what I mean, ecstatic. We were about a week ago, every Bills fan, you know what I mean, was ready to, write off the season, say we weren't
right.
playoffs. I think it's, you know what I mean, we want to stay pretty even keeled here. But let's preview this Houston game. Obviously we got the game tomorrow. It's another reason why we're doing the episode tonight. I really wanted to get one out before the game. Um, so yeah, I mean, we play Houston tomorrow. They're coming off two straight wins. Davis Mills will be at a
Excuse me.
third straight start, I believe. Doesn't really look like that's kind of that's been hindering them. If anything, they've been playing better. It seems like since Mills has been starting. But yeah, what's your takes on Houston?
I mean, the defense is really good. I think they're like number one in the NFL, especially when it
Mhm.
comes to a lot of stuff. They average, I think, allowing like 17 points a game,
Yeah.
like 16 or 17 points a game. The thing is, though, I don't know if they were doing it with Stroud or not, but with Mills, I mean, they don't score a lot. Mills, he's smart. He's been in the league for a while. He's a veteran. Um, he has Nico Collins, who's playing because I think he was like on the injury report,
Yeah.
and people were wondering if he was going to play or not. But looks like he's playing. And the thing is with them is they're passing the ball a lot. I mean, I think he has like over 100 passes thrown in the last like 3 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like there's gonna be, some opportunities to really, like, get them interceptions or maybe have him, throw a ball or 2 he doesn't want to. I don't think he's very mobile, so, I mean, if you can really get him to, like, just be discomfort and, like, get outside the pocket and, like, I feel like that's where he's gonna have to make the mistake or he's gonna have to throw the ball away.
Yeah, like Mills is definitely prone to mistakes. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not writing him off because he's starting. Like you said, he's a veteran. You know what I mean? He's definitely a capable backup quarterback.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He had a great game against Jacksonville a couple weeks ago. They kind of won off the heels of their defense against the Titans.
Yep.
Um, a good thing about us playing Houston, I think, is their running game isn't very good. Again, I did say the same thing about the Bucks last week. Thinking no Bucky Irving, and then Sean Tucker has the game of his life against us. So
Right.
not to say Woody Marks can't do the same thing. But the Texans offensive line is one of the worst in the league. So I would say this is a good get right spot for our defense if there was any. Backup
Mhm.
quarterback, bad offensive line. I mean, I think if our defense struggles this game, I would definitely start to worry even more that this defense really can't get it done when it counts. Because I think it's really going to be a work in progress the rest of the season, and I think it's going to be more of a defense. To whereas like they're going to have to get timely turnovers. I think when we get to the big games, we're going to let up a lot of points. It's just the way I look at it right now. I don't see a lot of high end talent on this defense as a whole. Yeah, you got Bosa and stuff like that, but our linebackers have been really struggling. You know what I mean? It's just been rough on that end.
Yeah, for sure. Another underrated signing has been Shaq Thompson. I mean, when he
Mhm.
was in there at linebacker, he was playing great, and unfortunately, he's been hurt. But I'm not sure if he's playing or if he's on the right track to play tomorrow. But that'd be huge. Mathis, I think, is coming back tomorrow. And it's just one of those things. I feel like if you know Ed was back and,
Yeah,
Bosa doesn't have the club on his hand and stuff like that, and these guys could really just, like, form a bond together, I feel like they'd be fine. It's just a lot of moving parts.
yeah. No, Hoyt getting hurt too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that was a big one. Ogunjobi was out the first 6 games along with Hoyt. So, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of moving parts. I feel like it'll slowly come together, but, yeah, about, like, Houston, like, they really don't run the ball well, but with us being one of the worst run defenses in the NFL, I'm sure they're gonna try, and, I think it's a big opportunity for them, to get right, especially on the, defensive side of, the run game, and where it's like, "Hey, like, here's your chance," like, try to take advantage of a team who doesn't run the ball well
mm,
and, try to fix it, and I'm not saying, they're gonna be only allow 30, rushing yards the whole game, but, you're going from allowing what, probably like 100 a game. Like, even if you get it down to like 70 or 80, you know,
right.
something like that. But Mills, he's gonna be smart with it. I feel like if there's an opportunity to like really just put the game away, this is a game I feel like you just gotta have your foot on the gas the whole time. You
Yeah,
know, if you get a team who doesn't run the ball well, and so you got that part of it. You have us who doesn't defend the run well. You get up a few scores, they're not even gonna try to run the ball.
exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know what I mean? If that's why also I think we do have to play aggressive is because if you get ahead, you know what I mean. You can let them run the ball if they want. If you're up 2 scores or so,
Yeah.
so they're just wasting clock. So again, that's another reason why we really can't play close to the vest anymore. Let Josh be Josh. Uh, It's not a foolproof way of winning, but I think it's our best chance. You know what I mean? And I think we got stuck with playing close to the vest, I feel, because we won a lot early. And I feel like a lot of those wins were kind of not the best ones, to be honest.
Mhm.
We beat the Jets, okay. Miami, the Saints. I mean, and Miami and the Saints, I mean, those were two teams that they were in the game in the fourth quarter in those games. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so it was not like those were great wins to begin with. So, I think hopefully the Falcons game. These losses in general have been kind of like a wake up call that they, have
Mhm.
impressive. Um, but let's talk about Mr. Keon Coleman. He's been, everyone's wondering if he's going to be inactive or active tomorrow. What do you think at this point?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, McCole Hardman, had a great game. Last week, we just signed him to the 53. Had that fumble, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, that's probably the first time he was in a real game action, catching punts in a long time.
Right,
Um, but he did a lot of good. He's not playing tomorrow, so you're down a wide receiver already. Curtis Samuel's not playing tomorrow. You're down two wide receivers already. Um, so it's interesting to see like if they're going to be like, hey, well, we're going to need somebody. Let's, see how Coleman is, get him back on track. Or if they're going to be like, hey, we'll just activate, Elijah Moore because he was a healthy scratch last week, and we'll call up Gabe Davis again.
right.
Um, so that's the thing. It just I don't really know how much there is to it. Obviously, we're not behind the scenes to know. Um, there was a video at the game or before the game Sunday where Keon was like dancing pregame and stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen that, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, what's this guy doing? Like, he's showing up late to meetings, and this is how he reacts and stuff like that." And when I saw that, I wasn't mad or anything at that. I looked at it kind of like maybe he's like, "Hey, like I learned my lesson. Like, it is what it is. The only thing I can do is move on and be better." And he's just out there being himself.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather him do I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I would rather him do that, be happy with the guys than be pouting in the corner.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, he's been saying all the right things, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Obviously, words are words, you know what I mean? He's got to put the action to it. Um, I think he will dress tomorrow. I don't think McDermott's gonna kick him down into the abyss and not have him get a way out. Obviously, if he keeps up the behavior, then
Mhm.
you know what I mean. McDermott's gonna kick him more down the abyss and not let him return. But I think McDermott's gonna give him some leeway to get back here. Something I was thinking about the last couple days. So obviously Shavers had a very good game. You got Palmer back too, and Gabe. So I was thinking. So a lot of people have been calling for Coleman to play more in the slot.
Mhm.
You got guys that are playing better on the outside right now. It would this be a spot where you maybe see what he can do in that? You know what I mean? And Shakir's been playing a little bit hurt, I think, too. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
is it worthwhile to give Coleman more of a shot at that? Because I think it might actually fit more for what our current room has right now.
Yeah, I mean, he was, I think, typically a slot guy, Coleman at Florida State, and I think it's definitely a good opportunity to try it out, especially, if he plays tomorrow and you got like Gabe comes up and stuff like that, and I feel like, why not put him in the slot for, a play and just see, I'm not saying you have to target him, right away or anything like that, but just see, what's it looking like? Like, is the defense focused on him? Are they kind of like, hey, like, we're not too worried about him. We're gonna focus more on these outside guys, stuff like that. And obviously, you got to see, like, is the defense playing man? Are they playing zone? Stuff like that. If they're playing the zone and he's in the slot, if he has that knowledge to know, like, hey, I know what kind of zone they're playing. I know where I can just sit
Right.
in the middle of this and pick up, 5 to 10 yards or something like that. But yeah, I feel like it'd be a good opportunity to do it and just see because, like you said, I mean, maybe that's like his missing piece is just putting him in the slot and seeing what he can do.
Yeah, because I think before he was basically being put outside because we really didn't have anyone else to put outside. But now
Hmm.
have this and these influx of guys coming in now. You mean like Gabe, Shavers, Palmer. You know what I mean? I think that could be more of his fit. And I know there's a lot of people that want to write off Coleman. I get it. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. You know what I mean? It's definitely really frustrating when you see we could have got Lad McConkey over him, but
Hmm.
it's the fact is we have Keon Coleman now. You know what I mean? And I don't think the Bills are going to give up on a second round pick in his second year. He's shown enough flashes to whereas like I don't think this is the end of him yet. Um, we'll see. You know what I mean? He missed that meeting. They even said he was going to play before that happened. You know what I mean? This wasn't like a pick
Hmm.
for no reason like some people were thinking was going to happen. So I think the Bills still believe in his talent to an extent, but you know, it's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? Like I can definitely see in a world where he's inactive again, where they say like, "Hey, Shaver showed up and he played great," and Shaver should dress again. He should. Keon Coleman should not be dressing if it's at the expense of Gabe or Shavers. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Guys played great last week. That's not really a good message to the locker room if you sit one of those guys, in my opinion.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't think they'll give up on him just yet. I mean, if it comes out like, hey, he's been late to two more meetings, throughout the season, that's something different. But I mean, yeah, being a second round pick, um, the first pick, I think it was in the second round. Um, like you said, like there's other guys we could have had, but at the end of the day, we drafted Keon Coleman. It's like, why not try to, put him, on the field and do what he can, whatever it is. I mean, maybe he's a guy that, is kind of hanging out on the sideline and then we get, inside the red zone. They're like, hey, we're going to put him on the field just to be a threat and see how it works. I feel like he's raw, you
Yeah.
know, he is. And, I mean, look, I feel like you can use the Cole Bishop, um, thing is like, hey, he was, raw as well. He still is. I mean, he has a lot to learn, but like he's got Poyer mentoring him. Maxwell Harrison, he's got Trey White mentoring him. And then you got Keon. It's like maybe he needs that, like a guy like Gabe, to, like you said,
Mhm.
to really just, you know, just lead him and lead that receiving room and just kind of be there where he can just lean on him if he needs to.
Yeah, and that's why, you know what I mean? I'm hoping that Gabe has the effect that Poyer's had on the defense, you know what I mean? Basically in that sense. Um, so let's get into some predictions, you know what I mean? So I have a interesting fact for you. The Bills have not won in Houston since 2006.
Oh wow.
Who was the quarterback for that team?
For the Bills?
Yes.
Goodness, in 2006?
I'll give you a bonus point to Texans quarterback was too.
Was Fitzpatrick for the Texans?
Nope. This was even before Fitzpatrick.
Oh gosh. All right, let me see the Bills. 2006. Trying to think. I'm thinking more of like, okay, it was before oh, who was the guy I was just thinking of?
I feel like
Um
one opinion, one whatchamacallit, one hint, you're gonna get it right away.
it's not it's before Trent Edwards, right?
A little bit before that, yeah,
A little bit before Trent Edwards. Okay, it's not JP. Is it JP?
it is.
Was it what?
Yep, JP Losman was the last quarterback that won in Houston.
Wow.
Yep,
I was second my guessing. I would have never guessed that.
yep, yeah, the 283 yards to Lee Evans in the first quarter.
Oh, that's the game.
Yep.
Wow. The thing that threw me off was 2006. That's like it seems so long ago. I mean, it is,
Yeah. Oh
but
yeah, it's almost
but
what 20 years ago.
but the thing is that I'm not thinking Lossman's that old too. That's why I'm trying to like put like all these quarterbacks together and wow. So JP Lossman, who the heck would have been the quarterback for the Texans?
I want
Um, was it Schaub?
no. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Older brother of a quarterback that recently retired.
Oh, that was my next guess was Carr. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that was gonna be. It was between Schaub and Carr.
Another interesting thing about Carr that game. So Losman and Carr had great games. I think Carr didn't throw an incompletion until like the fourth quarter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but he threw a pick. Yeah, he
Oh
threw
okay.
threw an incompletion, which is pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
let's get
Wow.
here. This usually that stuff doesn't really matter, but I think it kind of does. You know what I mean? For some reason, we just can't win in Houston.
Yeah, I heard another stat today that the Texans, because I heard they WGR had the Texan sideline reporter on, and they were interviewing him, and I think he said the last three Thursday night games they have all lost.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's definitely some some interesting facts on both sides.
Someone's got to give then.
Yep, unless it ends in a tie.
Yeah. Oh, please.
You heard it here first.
Oh. Is that your prediction? A tie?
No.
Uh,
No, my prediction, I like what the Bills and the offense did last week. I can't see them. I mean, it's a great Houston defense. I just can't see them going from 44 points to just like 10.
yeah,
Like,
I don't
I
think.
just I just can't see the offense just taking such a nosedive like that. Um, I feel like this offense is gonna be able to have some way with the defense, and the only reason why I say that is because I can see a predicament where the Bills are up by 10 or 9 or whatever it is to where it's like you're making the Texans one-dimensional, and if you do that, no matter how good your defense is, if your offense is going 3 and out every time, you're gonna be gassed.
Mhm.
I mean, something's gonna give, I like the Bills, I'll say, like, 26-13-ish, something like that.
Okay, okay. You're a little bit more optimistic than me. Um, I think we win, but I think it's gonna be a tight one. I think it's gonna be Bills 24, Texans 20. I think the Texans
Okay.
give us some trouble. I think our defense is gonna struggle at times again. Um, but I think we can still pull it out. I think this is gonna be a tight game. You know what I mean? The Texans defense definitely has my respect.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I was watching a Monday night game between them and the Seahawks, and if it wasn't for the Texans offense just being, you know what I mean, completely just horrendous that game. Like they took the ball away from Seattle like 4 or 5 times that game, I think, and
Mhm.
were just incredible. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean. Their offenses couldn't get it done, but I think this is going to be a tight one. But I think the Bills get it done. I'll keep the momentum riding. This is a game that you know what I mean. I feel the Bills do need if we still have any inclination of winning the division. Um,
Mhm.
as of right now, we're gonna have to get one game up on New England because now we have no tiebreakers against them at all, at least as of right now, because we lost the division game.
Right.
So, but I think it's gonna do it for this show. Um, appreciate everyone that popped in. Appreciate everyone that is gonna watch this later on.
For
But
sure.
until next time, go Bills. Peace out.